So Liz is going through her feed, and she saw that there's a lot of people that don't change their sheets, but yet once a year?
Once a year.
There's sheets on their bed.
The sheets they sleep on every single day. And I kind of was like, what in the world? What? They crispy by that point.
Yeah, and then Ninja chimes in and said,
I probably change mine or clean them like every 2 months. Maybe.
No, you did not say that.
Oh, you
Back
talking about
up.
in college?
Yes.
In college.
Okay, so when I was in college, I don't think I washed them.
Ever.
Like I washed them moving in and then when I got home after I moved out.
Oh, my grief. So,
Yeah.
4-year college you spent in college.
So she washed her sheets 4 times.
They walked themselves
semesters.
home.
8 times, semesters,
Semesters?
Oh,
Yeah.
so, okay. I thought like when you moved into the dorm, day one.
No, the start of each
And then-
semester.
That's what I thought, too.
Right, but still.
Move in the fall. By summer, finally, they're washed.
And semesters are what? 3-4 months?
Yes.
Something like that.
3,
Okay,
4
so
months.
let's just say 4 months.
So now it's what? You're down to once every 2 months?
I try, but it's like I take a shower before bed, so I'm clean, so the bed's clean.
Yeah.
Feet aren't clean.
I wipe them off before I get in.
Right. Who wipes off their feet before they go to bed?
I actually do.
Do you have like a little bucket of water and soap by your bed and you wash your feet?
No,
and
like-
dry them off.
Like you know how you put your hands together like this? I do that with my feet to like get the dust
Okay,
off.
put your
now,
feet together?
Now your hands are all dirty with what was on your feet.
No, my feet are together. The bottoms of my feet.
Like your hands? I need video of this because this is
Wow.
hilarious in my head. But you still can't get everything off your feet because I do the same thing. I'll brush my feet off just to make sure before I slide in. But I'm washing my sheets, I will say about every week and a half,
So
2
now
weeks.
Liz brushes off her feet before she goes to bed.
Yeah.
And now your hands
I
have
do, yes.
all your floor germs on it
I will
as
say
you're
that.
going into bed.
But I am washing my sheets a little more often than every couple of months.
Yeah, once a month for Liz.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
I wonder if you saw this too, because Liz saw it immediately this morning on her feed. It's Rob and Liz, his morning crew on his radio. Happened to be how many times people wash their sheets, their bedding.
Right.
And Liz said, what was it, once a year? There's a lot of people that do it only once a year.
One time a year.
Yeah, which is what Ninja does back in her college days.
In the college days, not anymore.
No, she's adults really good.
Yeah, and now it's a little more often, right, Ninja?
Yes. Trying to do the goal is 2 months.
Okay,
Yes.
that's the goal. All right, I
Yep.
got you. All right, but you do wipe off your feet.
I do.
Before you get in.
I shower, wipe the feet off.
Yeah.
So I'm clean, get into the bed so the bed's clean.
The floor is dirty, but that's another story.
So me and Mary texted in. We clean our sheets about every week and a half to 2 weeks. Mary sent in a green-faced emoji about once a year. Changing once a year.
Ryan's here at 800-447-7234. What do you say, Ryan?
I wash mine every 2 weeks. I ask them if they ever vacuum the house.
How often do you vacuum your house?
Oh, she threw it back at
Every
you.
week.
Yeah.
Every week.
I will say I sweep my house twice a day, and I still can't keep up with it, but twice a day and vacuum, yeah, I would say once or twice a week.
Yeah, I vacuum, and both beds are sheets down, stripped, clean, and but I can't believe I got the willies when y'all said that.
How many years did you serve in the military?
None.
And you're
None.
doing this? That's good.
Yes, my mom made me do it when I was young.
Let's do it.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
If you know anybody who loves the Twix bars, they're going to like this. It's Rob and Liz, his morning crew on his radio, because Twix is now coming out with a new flavor, and they're going to do free samples for the new flavor.
But I don't know that everybody's going to like this one because
Why?
I don't like this flavor at all. It's cookie dough.
What's wrong with cookie dough?
I can't stand cookie dough.
There's something wrong.
No.
You had something traumatic happen when you tried cookie dough.
No, not at all, other than It's gross.
See?
It's gross.
That's traumatic right there, if you ask me. So it's like a cookie dough Twix bar now,
Yeah.
right?
I think it has caramel on it, and then it has the. See?
I'm out.
I mean, who's more right in this? Right? Because I
Rob
think
is.
everybody but you likes caramel.
Rob is. So I think it's like Tuesday. You can sign up for a free sample thing. They'll mail it to you.
Only 1,000 people, though, can get the free sample.
Oh, come on.
And if you're into,
That's
I know,
cheap.
right? And is it fun size or is it full size? I need to know the parameters.
Fun
Thank you,
size.
Twix.
Oh, fun size is a really tiny
a
little,
little
bite, right?
Because that's a sample. They don't say they're going to
you're
send you
right.
the full. If you want the full one, though, if you do like cookie dough,
There are bigger samples at Sam's and Costco.
there are.
Really? I mean, you
love
could go and
Saturdays.
you could eat a full lunch or dinner just by doing the samples at Sam's or Costco.
Listen, if you time it right, I mean, they'll give you
Really?
a little cranberry juice sometimes, or even a little coffee.
Full course meal.
And then you get fruit, and then you get usually a mozzarella stick
Sometimes
or something.
Publix will do that.
Yeah.
One of the grocery stores.
Yeah, usually around a holiday, the grocery stores will do it, like Thanksgiving or Christmas. And you know,
yeah, that's right. You get a full meal.
I know.
It's excellent.
When do we get to go this afternoon?
Yeah, I'm getting like hungry.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
Peyton is 10. His big sister is 22. They seem to be inseparable. They love each other. Peyton's sister has cancer, stomach cancer. It's stage 4, and she is a fighter. She fought for so long that she decided personally, this is it. So she stopped the treatment.
She's just tired.
But she has a wish. She's like, I know my days are numbered. I know I'm very young. I just want a trip with my family for 1 week. 1 week. The medical bills are so high, so there's no way that they can afford that. Here's what Peyton has done. Peyton has a lemonade stand. He's 10 years old. He's selling it for like 50 cents a cup. So far, now the mom says, I think it's going to be $3,000. She wants to go to upstate New York, wants to spend the whole week. It's got to be, that sounds like that's not much money.
Not
as
really
far
for
as
that many people.
For a whole week.
Yeah.
Right? So he's raised so far with his lemonade stand $250. So they're on their way.
I want to go buy some lemonade this morning from
Right?
this kid.
Right?
Oh, Peyton, that is touching my heart that he's doing this for his sister.
That's a lot of love. And he just wants to do something. He knows his sister, there's not much time. And he wants to make it very special for her.
Make the best of it.
So he's doing the lemonade stand. Way to go, Peyton. And know this, we're praying for your big sister.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
Here is a hack that this one lady has come up with, and she saved like $28,000 traveling because of this hack. It's Rob and Liz, his morning crew on his radio, and here's all she does. She cat sits across the globe.
It's amazing.
She's done this in Australia at like 50 houses. She's now doing this here in our country, in the U.S., and she's saving like $28,000 because she goes around and she cat sits.
Yeah. And so she does pay for part of her, I guess you would say, vacation. She gets a pretty big tax refund every single year. And
In Australia, where she
Yeah,
lives, right? Yeah.
And she just puts it straight in the bank. That's her travel fund. And then she looks for ads where they need a cat sitter or a house sitter. And then that's where she kind of plots out her vacation.
Yeah, a couple of places that she looks is Trusted House Sitters, Mind My House, House Cares, Aussie House Sitters, those kind of things that are trusted and vented people, and she's one of the vented cat sitters. And so she goes and she house sits where there's cats, and she travels the globe doing this.
It's wild and so genius. So when she got to America, she started in Seattle. She ended up along the way in Austin. She went to New York. So she has seen more of the country, I think, than even maybe I have.
And a lot of houses and a lot of cats.
Yeah, but she said she only works 30 minutes a day. Cats don't need as much attention as dogs do, like that constant taking them out and doing the thing because you got the litter box and all. So 30 minutes a day, and she gets paid and gets to travel the world.
Now, she did say she spent $7,200 of her own money to travel in the U.S., but she saved like $28,000.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's quite a ticket to get from Australia anywhere in this country. And so that's where the bulk of her money is being spent. But she gets free lodging, probably free meals to a point, or at least snacks and that kind of thing.
Help yourself to the fridge.
Anybody have a dog I need to sit?
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
20 years ago, Fred decided he was going to do something for his family. He did not get to spend a lot of time with his 3 daughters. And, I can just see him driving down the road. He sees a sign outside of a Chick-fil-A and it says Daddy-Daughter Night's coming up. And he's like, I'm going to do that. He's a police officer. And he, like I say, he works overnight so he doesn't get that night time with his kids. So they plan this. 20 years later, they're still going. 20 years.
So she's in her 20s now.
Yeah, all
and
the
they're still
kids,
doing this.
all 3 kids. There's Teresa, Catherine, and Mary. They've even, I think a couple of them are married with their own families now.
Yeah?
They still get together with Dad and do daddy-daughter date nights.
That's sweet.
Even during the pandemic, they were like, okay, we got to figure out how this is going to work. So what Dad did, he went to Chick-fil-A, he picked up the food through the drive-thru, and he went home, and they had daddy-daughter date night in the house.
Well, good for them.
Isn't that so cool that they're not letting age break the tradition? That's still their dad.
Mm-hmm.
They're still his daughters. Why not do daddy-daughter date night?
Huh.
I love
That
it.
gives me an idea.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
Little neighborhood in Minnesota, they're getting up, getting ready for their day. The alarm clock goes off. They turn on the news. They're listening to the radio. They're putting on their makeup, checking their feed. All of a sudden, it's 7 o'clock, and the electric goes out for 4,000 people.
4,000 people.
Shuts down completely. The whole grid is off. People had no idea what went on until they learned about a fate of a squirrel.
Oh, buddy.
That knocked out the power. Actually, they can't find the squirrel.
Oh, he escaped.
I would hope so.
He has a new hairdo, but he escaped.
Yeah, right? The hairdo's like frizzed all out. Yeah, so now they have their power back, of course, because that was earlier in the week, but that was kind of wild.
That tends to happen quite a bit, doesn't it?
It seems like more and more. Either that or you just hear about it more because of the feed.
Maybe.
On your phone.
I feel like squirrels are very, very curious creatures because they're always getting into stuff. They're always getting into stuff.
Gnawing onto things.
Yeah, like look for acorns, look for pecans, not wires.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
Something happened. There was a family that left, the house going to work and school for the day. And after they left, they had their dogs. Looks like a couple of golden retrievers left them at home. And, I always wonder what our pets do while we're away. I feel like my dogs sleep all day long. I don't think it's the case. I think they're investigating constantly. These 2 dogs in this house did that. One of them went in the kitchen, started sniffing around. There's some milk bones on the table. Probably what he was sniffing out. He looks up on the stove. While he jumps, kind of front paws on the stove, he turned it on. Oh, no.
Really?
Accidentally. Yeah. Happened to be some food left on the stove from the night before.
I see where this is going.
Where they had some grease. He walks away. Thankfully, he walks away about 5 minutes later or so. Fire in the kitchen.
Because the stove is on.
The stove is on. There's something on top of it. Catches on fire. Nobody was injured. Pets were rescued. Not a problem there. But there was some damage to the home. So.
I'm sure.
Yeah. The firefighters came out. They're like, how did this even start? But yeah, the dog accidentally.
They must have security cams or something in the house.
They have video of the dog. The one is just sort of walking around like, doop-de-doop. What are you doing in there?
And this other one's checking out the food and doing what do you call it? The counter surfing.
Yeah, exactly. And I do believe that our pets do that while we're gone. They're up there
Of course.
because there's crumbs, especially if my little Pomeranian Ace had longer legs. Oh, he'd be going in the pantry. Like he'd be crawling looking for food. He's constantly scavenging.
Pouring himself some cereal, getting the milk out of the fridge.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
It was love at first sight when Neil and Lisa met. And when they got married about, 30 years ago, Lisa said, "Let's live a simple life, Neil." Neil said, "Yeah, let's do that." It's Rob and Liz, his morning crew on his radio. So even today, they only make telephone calls from a landline, something that's connected to a cord in your house. Okay? In case you don't know what a landline is.
I didn't even think about that.
Really, right? They have cash only, so they only pay with cash. They have a black and white television. not color.
Goodness.
It's not a flat screen. So they live like it's in the 30s. They even have a 1930 fridge
Yeah, and
from the year 1930.
their car's like 100 years old. Like every part of their life or lives is 1930s. I wonder if they speak like that. You know the old, if you've ever seen an old movie and throwbacks, and the way they talk is very dramatic.
Well, they
awesome.
dress like they're in the
Yes,
30s.
they do.
So that's how they walk around. They have an old telephone from the 1930s. There's not a computer, but there's this thing that people used to use called a typewriter that you would type letters on paper.
Oh my goodness. Though, do they use whiteout when they make a mistake?
I don't know when that came out.
I don't either.
The whiteout.
I can't imagine living like the 1930s. She does all the dishes herself. She does, and I mean by hand, not loading a dishwasher. She does all the laundry by hand. So I don't know if she goes out into the pond in the backyard and the old washer thing. Yeah, I'd never use
The washboard.
The washboard.
I know what you're
couldn't think of
talking
the name
about.
of it. Yeah. And when we say washboard, we think of abs now. No, that's not what she's using.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
Google Maps. It's a cool thing that they have now. Have a function where you can find fresh air instead of all the polluted stuff.
Okay, I thought you
So-
were going to go to like one of those oxygen places.
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay,
Although
gotcha.
I've never been to one.
I haven't either. I've seen them and I'm like very interested, but I don't want to pay a premium for that. So
I don't know if you know anything about Google Maps, but there's this little function that you see on your screen that looks like a bunch of paper laying on each other.
That's weird.
That's called layers. And so if you push on that and then tap on air quality, it will let you know where there's the best air quality. And so say you're going to New York City, it's going to be bad air quality.
I was
you know?
going to say, good luck with that.
But if you go out to Wyoming or something like that, it'll tell you how the air quality is going to be. So they're just trying to get you to places where there is fresh air.
Why is it when you say Wyoming and I think I automatically feel like I can smell crisp, clean air?
I don't know. I've never been, so I don't
haven't
know what it
either.
smells like.
But I feel like all I can see is just mountains and just
Colorado.
same
thing? Yeah.
Yes.
Have you been?
No.
Okay, see?
Never been out west.
Well, I'm
Ever.
sorry.
Farthest west, maybe Mississippi.
That's it?
Memphis.
She
maybe
needs
Memphis.
to expand her horizons and then look for the best air quality on Google Maps.